A comprehensive vision for a nationwide nutrition program to address malnutrition and food insecurity in Nigeria. The proposed program, Nutrition 774 Initiative, aims to improve nutritional outcomes across all 774 local government areas in the country. Speaking on Tuesday during a roundtable with development partners of the Presidential Villa Abuja, the Vice President said the initiative aligns with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's broader focus on food security and availability across Nigeria. Earlier, the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Pat, described the initiative under the National Council on Nutrition as very crucial in addressing the challenging situation of acute, subacute and chronic malnutrition, especially among vulnerable populations at the grassroots. On their part, the representatives of development partners present at the meeting pledged their unallowed support for the nutrition program, commending the federal government for the initiative, even as they underscored its commitment towards scaling up nutrition across the country.
The country is weighed down by several factors, from unprecedented floods, which is a concomitant fallout from the climate change challenges, continuing conflicts and global economic pressures. As a result, millions of our citizens are struggling to access the basic nutrition they need for survival. In the face of these challenges, our government remains unwavering in its commitment to alleviate the suffering of our people and strengthen our nation's food systems.
The vision is good, the diagnostic is good, and the approach and framework, the multi-sectoral approach, is the right approach to reduce malnutrition. This aligns very well with global evidence that shows that you need a combination of health, nutrition, interventions, water and sanitation, and agriculture education, all these packages targeted to the household at the community level.
So we just came out of a meeting. The meeting was a very productive discussion. The Excellency, the Vice President, led the charge of really taking a multi-sectoral approach to addressing nutrition. It is an example, another example of the excellent Tinubu's administration to really address malnutrition. We were very appreciative of the Minister of Health and Mohammed Pate led the charge of why it is so important.
The Nigerian Senate on Tuesday passed a second reading of the Investment and Securities Bill 2004. Also, the Red Chamber equally passed for second reading a bill seeking to establish a Federal University of Agriculture at Akure, Ondo State. Correspondent Kuliojo completes the story.
The bill aims to replace the outdated Investment and Security Act of 2007, promoting economic growth. This initiative was spearheaded by the Senate leader, Senator Okoyemi Bamidele, and Senator Osita Uzunazo, who emphasized the vital role of capital markets in driving economic growth. Speaking in support of the bill, other senators believe it will protect investors by enforcing stricter regulations and enhancing market transparency.
The bill seeks to repeal the Investment and Security Act 2007 and enact the Investment and Security Act 2024 and to establish the Securities and Exchange Commission as the apex regulatory authority for Nigerian capital market.
This amendment is very important to ensure that the Securities and Exchange Commission does its job in line with the global best practice.
The most cherished $1 trillion GDP that we are targeting, this is the engine room in achieving that objective. Securities and Exchange Commission all over the world are known as catalysts into building, initiating investments, building them, guiding them, and regulating.
The capital market, as presently constituted, need to be reorganized because of some fraudulent practices that are happening in the capital market. He has already mentioned insider abuse, which is very prevalent. The capital market, as presently constituted, need to be reorganized because of some fraudulent practices that are happening in the capital market. He has already mentioned insider abuse, which is very prevalent. And this has caused the lack of confidence of investors into the capital market.
In his remarks, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, who committed the bill to the Committee on Capital Markets for further legislation function, emphasized that the legislation is crucial for strengthening Nigeria's economy.
Reduction of systemic risk. Reduction of systemic risk. I think a lot of people will be happy to infuse funds into the capital market when they know that a lot of the risk has been minimized or reduced to the barest minimum. So this is very good. So I thank everybody because there's really nobody that says that a bill should not proceed.
Similarly, our bill is seeking to establish the Federal University of Agriculture, Akure, Ondo State, passed the second reading on the floor of the Senate. Sponsored by Senator Adeniyi, the bill was sent to the Senate Committee on Tertiary Education and Tent Fund and to report back in 4 weeks.
Yes, unless that country is self-sufficient in food production. So already the mantra of this administration, with the renewed whole agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is that we should consume what we produce and produce what we consume, particularly in the agricultural sector. And I think this is another step towards that. So I thank you all for supporting this. So I put the question. Those who support that this bill be now read a second time, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
From the Red Chamber of the National Assembly, Kunle Ojo, Galaxy TV.
The Senate has directed the Federal Road Maintenance Agency to, as a matter of urgency, intervene in the rehabilitation of Shua, Jigalamu and Baladega Bridge, which was affected by flooding in Adamawa North. Sponsor of the bill, Senator Amos Yohana, representing Adamawa North in his lead debate, stated that the flooding has caused catastrophic destruction in 5 local government areas, including thousands of people stranded and in their need, with hundreds of houses and farmlands destroyed. Correspondent Kunuju reports that in their remarks, lawmakers urge flood response agencies to rise to the occasion and do the needful, while noting that preventive measures must also be taken to avert such disasters.
The flooding situation has overwhelmed local capacities and left thousands of people in dire need of urgent humanitarian assistance in Krichinga, Shua, Gulag, Zuragu, and other areas of Michika local government, Mayobani Mubi North local government, Konkol in Maiha local government, including shelter, food, medical care, and clean water.
NEMA and the response agencies need to do more, because practically there is no presence of NEMA in my constituency, and I believe the senator that brought this motion to has made it clear. So what I will only add is more effort should be put towards getting these people back into their houses and alleviating their sufferings.
I'll be proactive in planning for the next set of floods, and we should not continue to be reactive. And in fact, by the time the water drains from the northern part of the country, it will settle in the south. And together with the release of water from the Cameroon dams, we expect flooding in the entirety of the Niger Delta, displacing people. So it's important that the country comes out with a Marshall Plan to cater for this yearly flooding.
The Senate further directed the National Emergency Management Agency to reach out to the affected communities and provide relief materials, while mandating its Committee on Legislative Compliance to ensure that NEMA, FEMA carry out the Senate resolutions. Nigeria Senate leader Senator Pemi Bamidele has denied working against the interests of Yorubas in the National Assembly. Pemi debunked the claim at a faction in Ado-Ekiti where fertilizers were being distributed to farmers from Ekiti Central Senatorial District. He said the alleged claim was an attempt to paint him black before the Yorubas and other ethnics in the country. The Senate leader noted that there is no such bill or proposal before the National Assembly. He also stressed that he is working with other senators from the Southwest to bring development to the region.
Before the Senate, there is not even a memorandum before the Senate to debate on regarding regionalism. So, all the talk that I'm opposed to regionalism is fake news and is unfounded.
The House of Representatives has called on the federal government to provide increased support to the Nigerian military and other law enforcement agencies to ensure they have the necessary resources to continue the critical work in protecting and serving the nation. The House also commended the military and law enforcement agencies for the dedication and heroism during the Borno flooding disaster, recognizing their efforts in the rescue mission. Correspondent Nabuchi Okinabuchi sent in this report.
This followed the motion of urgent public importance by Honorable Ahmed Jaha, who also urged the Ministry of Water Resources to take preventive measures to avoid future flood disasters.
On the day of the flood, our military and other law enforcement agencies responded with exceptional speed and coordination. Their swift deployment of rescue operations not only saved numerous lives, but also provided necessary aid and support to the affected families. The key points to be considered are: 1. Rapid response. The military immediately response to the disaster showcased their readiness and commitment to humanitarian efforts.
The House of Representatives also called on the federal government to review the budgetary allocation of the National Orientation Agency (NOA) in future budgets to support effective reorientation of citizens in line with current realities. They urged the NOA to increase its visibility across media platforms, produce engaging content to promote government policies, and collaborate with key stakeholders, including ministries, agencies, traditional institutions, religious bodies, and civil society organizations, to improve public enlightenment campaigns. Honorable Adewale Ahmed, in the motion, highlighted concerns over the agency's inadequate funding and the need for citizens' reorientation, particularly in addressing youth restiveness and social vices.
Concerned that the existing funding provided for the agency is grossly inadequate to meet the extensive responsibilities of the agency and its offices across the nation. Also concerned that given the prevailing trend of youth restiveness and social vices in the nation, there is definitely an urgent need.
The lower chamber further resolved to promote sustainable practices and green projects across government ministries, department agencies, MDAs, and the private sector. Honorable Daniel Amos, who raised the motion, highlighted the focus area of the initiative, including conservation, afforestation, renewable energy adoption, waste reduction, ecosystem restoration, and recycling programs tailored to Nigeria's context. He noted that the African Carbon Market Initiative predicts Nigeria could generate over $500 million annually by 2030, creating more than 3 million jobs. Amos further emphasized that investment in green projects will stimulate innovation and contribute to Nigeria's economic development. Green funds valued at $23 billion in 2024 have been pledged to major climate change organizations. The House also urged the National Climate Council to enforce the requirement for MDAs and companies with staff to implement sustainable plans effectively.
Cognizance, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, that encouraging green practices is crucial
for a sustainable future for Nigerians and fulfilling domestic and international climate obligations. Also cognizant that integrating green projects into government operations can contribute to global goals and reap economic and environmental benefits through commitment, coordination, and long-term vision.
You're still on to Galaxy Primetime News, and coming up next. The Supreme Court fixes October 22nd for the hearing of a suit filed by over 16 state governments challenging the constitutionality of the law establishing the EFCC and 2 orders. Details of these and more will come to you shortly. Just stay with us. We're glad to have you back. Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GalaxyTVNews. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live update and comment, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. Justice Emeka Inuite of the Federal High Court Abuja has declared Julius Abure as the substantive chairman of the Labour Party. Delivering judgment, Justice Inuite affirmed the Abure-led leadership and the March 2024 Nnewi Convention that produced the national leadership. Justice Inuite further ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to recognize Abure as the legitimate chairman, overriding the Commission's earlier stance that Abure's leadership was invalid. The court holds that the defendant attempts to impeach the validity of the leadership of the plaintiff fails, adding that the plaintiff has approved his case. Justice Inuite hereby issued an order compelling the defendant to accord the plaintiff's political party under the leadership of Barrister Julius Abure all the rights and privileges accorded a political party duly registered in Nigeria. INEC had argued that the Labour Party's National Convention violated the Nigerian Constitution and Electoral Act, and that the party failed to meet legal requirements for holding the convention. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court on Tuesday, which is today, fixed October 22 for the hearing of a suit filed by no fewer than 16 state governments challenging the constitutionality of the law establishing the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) and 2 others. A 7-man panel of justice led by Justice Unwani Abaji fixed the date after the states were joined as co-plaintiff and leave granted for consolidation of the case in the suit originally filed by the Kogi State government through its Attorney General. Correspondent Kunuju reports that the states that joined in the suit include Ondo, Edo, Oyo, Ogun, Nasarawa, Kebbi, Katsina, Sokoto, Jigawa, Enugu, Benue, Anambra, Plateau, Cross River, and Niger. The 16th states are relying on the fact that the Constitution is the supreme law, and any law that is inconsistent with it is a nullity. The plaintiffs argue that the Supreme Court in Dr. Joseph Umubike versus Federal Republic of Nigeria had held that it was the United Nations Convention Against Corruption that was reduced into the EFCC Establishment Act, and that in enacting this law in 2004, the provision of Section 12 of the 1999 Constitution as amended was not followed.
Suit before the court is to challenge the powers of certain institutions set up by law to deal with issues relating to, stealing, to corruption, to resources of the state in the federal system of government. So that is the long and short of the case in court. In this regard, we are looking at institutions of the federal government set up to investigate resources and funds belonging to states.
Nigeria is set to receive $1.5 million from Liminit over 3 years to enhance its AI capabilities. This funding supports the newly launched Nigeria AI Collective, which aims to create an inclusive AI ecosystem. Speaking at the launch of the Nigeria AI Collective with the theme Shaping an Inclusive AI Ecosystem for Nigeria, Ministry of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy Dr. Bosun Tijani emphasized that collaboration among government, academia and civil society is essential for ethical AI development. The minister highlighted the transformative potential of AI across multiple sectors, stressing the importance of ensuring that its deployment in Nigeria aligns with ethical standards.
Good pot of funding to get us going. As you will know, and for those who have been following, artificial intelligence is a serious set of technology that offers a unique opportunity for us to solve problems the way we've not been able to before. But at the same time, it's the kind of technology that when government all over the world is not paying attention, there's a danger that it has implication for society. So governments must ensure that on one hand, we're taking advantage of it, we're leveraging it to solve our own problems.
We're deeply committed to support efforts that ensure technology is developed and deployed in ways that respect human rights and promote equity and social justice. Nigeria's AI Collective is a community of practice that will bring together expertise from civil society, academia, tech innovation and many other sectors who are going to work together to advance AI in Nigeria, to drive innovation and ensure that AI in Nigeria is developed and deployed in a safe, ethical, inclusive and rights-respecting way.
Earlier in his remarks, Stephen King, the Chief Executive Officer of Luminate, assured of commitment in supporting AI Collective in Nigeria to ensure it thrives and takes the leadership role. Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has cautioned citizens of the state against killing one another for politics or any other reasons. Governor Fubara made the disclosure at Ikwere when he inspected the extent of damage done to the council secretariat after it was razed by thugs. According to the governor, they know where it's coming from, but will allow security agencies do the investigation.
With a sense of responsibility, we don't need to kill ourselves. My time will come and I will leave. Do I need to burn the government house? No! We all know where this is coming from. That is the truth. And everybody knows that it is not from my supporters. But I leave all to the security agencies to do a thorough work and let us know the people that are behind this arson.
He described the burning of the secretariat as a sad development because it was built by the immediate past chairman and with the local government resources.
Very sad seeing what had just happened in this council. I need to say this so that the people of Rivers State will understand why we took the path of peace. This council secretariat was built by the immediate past chairman. And for me, because I know the history of this council.
At least 21 passengers feared drowned in a boat accident that occurred on Monday at Imore town in the Amuwo-Odofin local government area of Lagos State. The tragedy struck when two boats, each ferrying 16 passengers, collided and capsized in the middle of the lagoon. The spokesperson for the Lagos State Police Command, Benjamin Hundein, stated in a press release on Tuesday that the incident was reported to the Ilashe Police Division at about 7 p.m. According to him, emergency responders, including Marine Police and local divers, were swiftly mobilized to the scene and rescued 11 passengers who sustained injuries. He added that the injured were rushed to the Naval Hospital in Navy Town, Alakija, for medical attention. Based on the report, teams of conventional and marine policemen, local divers and other emergency responders were swiftly mobilized to the scene. First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Oluremi Tinubu, says focusing on early child education is a potent means to shape the life of the child and ensure a formidable future not only for the individual but the nation as a whole. She pointed out that these are the formative years that shape outcomes of life. The First Lady was speaking at a high-level forum of women leaders with the central theme investing in early childhood to build human capital throughout life, held in Mojumbura. Senator Oluremi Tinubu, who joined voices with other First Ladies present, said the role of women in nurturing the child is an important one, especially at the early stage in life, as this period is a strong determinant of how the child turns out in life. She said over the years, research has shown that the early years, particularly from birth to age 8, are crucial for a child's cognitive, physical and emotional growth. These years lay the foundation for the future, impacting not just education but also their long-term social, economic and emotional well-being. The National Council on Education has decided to integrate digital and entrepreneurship skills into the education curriculum in Nigeria. This formed the focus of discussion at the council meeting currently going in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. Correspondent Kunujo reports that the council maintained that the gap in digital literacy in the country has been generating debate considering the state of the sector. Stakeholders of the meeting agreed that education has moved beyond chalkboard and books, making the shift to digital operations a national emergency. Speaking on the theme of the meeting, innovation, digital technology and entrepreneurship tools for education and national development in the 21st century, the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Education, Dr. Nasir Gwazo, emphasized that the government has made available necessary resources to accommodate the system upgrade. The Council believes that with this initiative, the sector will create self-reliant students that will impact national development. Experts have said it takes 6 months to completely treat tuberculosis, stressing that TB is curable and preventable. Stakeholders sought to enhance accurate reporting on tuberculosis, TB, and promote the uptake of short-course tuberculosis preventive therapy.
Nigeria has the highest burden of TB in Africa and 6th globally. These statistics pose a significant public health threat in the country. A WHO's 2022 Global TB report also estimates Nigeria's TB incidence at 219 cases per 100,000 population. Despite these alarming figures, experts say the implementation of the National Strategic Plan 2021 to 2026, aimed at achieving universal access to quality TB prevention, diagnosis and treatment services by 2026 will help address grey areas around TB.
To treat tuberculosis, to treat it completely, you need a 6 months treatment therapy. We call it DOTS, directly observed treatment therapy, or directly observed, treatment therapy. So this therapy, you have to take it. Even if after 1 month you're feeling okay, you don't need to stop that. You have to complete it. So patients, people, the populace, they need to be aware. Even if you are feeling okay, you're strong, you don't have to stop tuberculosis treatment. It's for 6 months and it has to be completed. Tuberculosis is curable. Curable in the sense that, yes, when you start the therapy, we monitor the treatment progress. If it is cut short, it's really going to, the patient may develop what we call the resistance case. And that resistant case is difficult to treat. And it comes with its problems in the sense that that resistance case may take a longer time to treat compared to the 6 months regimen.
With Nigeria accounting for 11% of the world's missed TB cases, how well can children living with tuberculosis be identified?
But sometimes with children, to get those informations are a little bit more challenging, except for people who are trained to particularly identify these symptoms. So one of the issues we have is basically, that's why we are trying to create more awareness concerning TB, so that people are aware of the basic symptoms. And when they can identify that to the child, the index of suspicion is high. Also, when it comes to the diagnosis, it's a little also difficult with getting diagnosis done for a child, because one of the primary biological specimens we require to do a test for TB is called the sputum. And a child is usually unable to produce sputum. Sometimes when they cough, they swallow their sputum. So it's difficult to assess that sputum to do a test. But reliably now, one of the things we do is we're able to collect 2 samples, and then they go through a gene expert test where we get good results.
On her part, the executive director of JAID, Olayide Akoni, noted that it was imperative to address prevailing myths around TB preventive treatment by promoting treatment literacy through the media.
We know that TB is curable, but oftentimes because of the myths and misconceptions, people fear and think, oh, maybe this is witchcraft, oh, this is something that somebody has done, it's a curse and all of that. But we know that TB is curable and treatment is free. And with our audiences, sadly, what happens most times is that TB awareness is centered around World TB Day, which is celebrated once a year on March 24th. But beyond that, people need to know, people need to be informed, people need to be aware and be able to make informed choices about their health. We see that Nigeria still has a huge burden of TB, and from the data that was presented today, we're still missing a huge number of TB cases, and so we have a role to play in communicating and creating awareness that will support uptake of TB services.
Despite being a significant public health challenge in Nigeria, with awareness culminated with government support, Nigeria would definitely achieve its TB target. From Abeokuta, the state capital, John Felix reporting for Galaxy Television News.
The Nigerian government has been charged to give necessary support to physically challenged persons in the society. The charge was given at the 2024 Annual National Handicapped Excellence Award and anniversary held at Fantasia Hall, Eco Hotel, Victoria Island, Lagos. Galaxy News correspondent Lebby Joseph was there and files in this report.
The National Handicapped Excellence Award is a program conceived by Special Persons Association of Nigeria, SPAN, to recognize and encourage persons with disabilities who are striving for excellence in their chosen career. In his address, the president, SPAN, Prince Will David, said the association has done so much in empowering members through vocational training and could do more if given necessary support from government and meaningful individuals in the society.
The basic fundamental and why the association is set up is to give hope to persons with disability. As you can see in my speech, we have supported and given hope to more than 5,000 persons living with disability in Nigeria, and records are kept. And I believe the little we have done or the much we are about to do, we encourage well-placed individuals, philanthropists, government, and etc. to support us.
The national coordinator of SPAN, Chidi Nwankwo, while speaking with Galaxy TV, said Parents of physically challenged persons should not give up on them, but instead should strive to assist them to be somebody in life.
To create equal opportunities for persons with disabilities who have excelled in life, just like the able-bodied. To create a socio-cultural relationship and unity and integration between the persons with disabilities and the able-bodied. As you can see in the society and also in this program, both the able-bodied and the persons with disabilities, they fellowshipped in joyful noise and in singing songs of praise and in gathering together and working one accord instead of having discrimination and all those type of segregation.
At this year's award ceremony, numerous persons with disabilities received awards for their exemplary feat in their chosen career. Also, Galaxy Television and 2 other media outfits were given award of recognition for their support for SPAN as media partners.
The best way, I understand that all fingers are not equal, quite all right, but we are in a world or a country where the right of humans needs to be valued. So you as a person with disability, you are first humans before the disability. So you need not settle for less, which is the charity, but rather look for the right base, look for how best you can acquire skills to relevantly, attribute or contribute to the society.
From Lagos, this is Lebi Joseph reporting for Galaxy TV News.
Nurses and other health workers in Kaduna State have said that non-implementation of the 30 balance of the 2009 CONHES consolidated health salary structure for health workers in the State Ministry of Health and the State's Primary Health Care Board, among other reasons, made them to go on strike. Addressing newsmen on Tuesday following the indefinite strike action, leaders of the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, Kaduna State Council, Association of Hospital and Administrative Pharmacists, Kaduna State Ministry of Health Chapter, and Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists of Nigeria, Kaduna State Ministry of Health Chapter. The health workers leader said Kaduna State health workers need motivation because they are the least paid in the country, but are also willing to return to work as soon as the demands are met.
Then this issue of 2021 hazard allowance. Then we also have issues of some of our colleagues that were employed in April 2023 and we are not paid until February 2024. So they have 8 months arrears that has not been paid, and up to now they have not been paid. Imagine somebody going to work for 8 months and that person is not paid. He is transporting himself, he rented a house, he is feeding himself and going to work, and nobody.
Promotions which have been outstanding. You realize someone is due for promotion since 3 years back, and he will be due for another promotion, and still yet he has not collected the previous promotion. And when he gets the promotion, it says without arrears. He has worked for it.
Also embark on this industrial action, but the government, will I say, they have been adamant to our demands. It's within their capacity. There are no money in the state. We understand there are no money in the state, but we see a lot of activities going on. So where is the money for those activities coming? Are those activities more important than the welfare of the citizens of Kaduna State? They are not. So we call on the government.
I'm not happy, but I come here to do something. When I see the place is don't look, me I don't happy this year. It's true. So I don't know what happened for this hospital. But somebody they say they go do strike. So I don't happy. I dey come from far place. So now when I do come here, I see I'm not happy. I don't know. Maybe they will give them the thing way they want for government.
And now we'll move over to the foreign desk for more news.
This is news from the international scene. Iran warned Israel on Tuesday against attacking any of its infrastructure amid fears of a possible Israeli assault on oil or nuclear sites following Iran's missile barrage last week. Minister Abbas Araghchi spoke after Israel said it was preparing a response to Iran's October 1st missile attack on its archenemy, its second in the country in 6 months. On Monday, an official statement quoted Araghchi as saying Iran did not seek war in the region. On Friday, U.S. President Joe Biden cautioned Israel against attacking oil installations in Iran, one of the world's top 10 producers of crude. Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps General Rasul Senairat warned Israel on that any attack on nuclear or energy sites would cross a red line. Israeli forces have reported the killing of another senior Hezbollah commander in a strike on the Lebanese capital. The Israeli army said in a statement on Tuesday that Suhail Hussein, head of the Hezbollah headquarters, was killed as its fighter jets targeted the Beirut area. Israel had claimed significant attacks that have also killed many civilians. The army said Husseini's death was another significant strike on Hezbollah. He was involved in weapon transfer between Iran and the group in disturbing smuggled weapons among various units in Hezbollah, it said. Husseini was also responsible for the budgeting and logistics of Hezbollah's most sensitive project, including planning attacks against Israel from Lebanon and Syria, it added. North Korean soldiers are likely fighting in Ukraine alongside Russian troops, with some believed already killed and more expected to be sent, Seoul's defense chief said on Tuesday. It was reported this weekend that 6 North Korean military officers were killed in a Ukrainian missile attack on Russian-occupied territory near Donetsk on October 3rd. Seoul's defense minister Kim Young-kyun told lawmakers Tuesday that it was highly likely, considering various circumstances, that the report was true. Experts have long said North Korean missiles are being deployed in Ukraine by Russian forces, something both Moscow and Pyongyang have denied. South Korea also claimed Pyongyang has sent thousands of containers of weapons to Russia for use in Ukraine. The nuclear-armed North has publicly boasted military ties with Moscow in recent years. Still on the international scene, French authorities have ordered Omar bin Laden, a son of slain al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden, to leave the country over posts on social media. France's Interior Minister announced on Tuesday. France's new Interior Minister Bruno Ratillieu said that Omar bin Laden had lived in the apartment of Orion in Normandy as a spouse of a British national. The minister said that the other son posted comments on his social network in 2023 that advocated terrorism. Born in Saudi Arabia, where he spent his early years, Omar bin Laden, 43, also had lived in Sudan and Afghanistan. He left his father at the age of 19 and eventually settled in Normandy in northern France in 2016, taking up painting. The Interior Minister also said he had signed off on a ban preventing Omar bin Laden to return to France for any reason whatsoever. Kenya's parliament was set to vote on Tuesday on impeaching Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua in a political drama that has exposed a rift in the governing party. Lawmakers have accused the 59-year-old deputy to President William Ruto of corruption, undermining the government, and practicing ethically divisive politics, among a host of other charges. At a press conference, Gachagua denied the accusation as outrageous and sheer propaganda, saying it was a scheme to hound him out of office. Political tensions have been running high since the deadly demonstrations erupted over unpopular tax hikes, exposing divisions between Gachagua and Ruto. Several MPs allied with Gachagua were summoned by police last month, accused of funding the protests. Lastly, on the international scene, mainland Chinese stock ended more than 4% higher on Tuesday, but were well off India, who early highs as traders were left disappointed by lack of new stimulus from Beijing and a few details about measures announced last month. The Shanghai Composite Index, which opened more than 10% higher, ended up 4.59% or 153.28 points at 3,489.78. At the Shenzhen Composite Index on China's second exchange, gained 8.89% or 1.71.29 points at 2,098.77. Equities have been on its chair since officials began announcing a raft of measures aimed at kick-starting growth in the world's number 2 economy, with an emphasis on the troubled property sector. Investors returned to the office on Tuesday after a week-long holiday, hoping a planned news conference would see more pledges or detailed on those already unveiled. Sheng Shangji, head of China's National Development and Reform Commission (NDRC), said the government was fully confident it will achieve its goal of around 5% growth this year, a target that analysts say is optimistic. And that's it from the international scene.
And I'll move on to entertainment news.
Welcome to Entertainment News. My name is Rose Blossom Moye. Here are the stories for today.
Nollywood actress Annie Dibia can't hide her excitement after being named one of the 100 most influential women in Africa. Global Unity Women International had announced that the wife of legendary singer Two-Face had been recognized as one of the most influential women in Africa and will be honored at the International Women's Empowerment and Sustainable Development Summit. The organizers of the award praised the actress for her immense talent and charisma and her social impact, work, passion for women's empowerment and success in both fashion and business. Reacting to the news via her Instagram story, Annie, who was in disbelief, described the recognition as a loud one as she noted how she is a child of grace. The BB Niger Season 9 has just come to an end, with Kelly Ray emerging as the winner and Wani following a few paces behind. Fans have been jubilating in the comment, stating that Kelly Ray was truly deserving of the top position. Kelly Ray was formerly part of the duo Double K, which included his wife Cassia. However, after the duo was split during the game, Cassia got evicted shortly after. Prior to Cassia's eviction, the team representing them sent out a memo asking fans to only vote Kelly Ray if push comes to shove. This statement spawned a lot of reactions online, with netizens calling it a gender-based bias, while some totally bought the idea. Controversial rapper Spade Darlington has been reported missing for 3 days, leaving fans worried. The report was made by a fan who drew attention to Spade Darlington's unusual radio silence. According to the netizen circumstances, the musician hasn't made any posts for the past 3 days, which is very unusual. Additionally, attempts have been made to reach him, but all have been met with silence. Constancis opined that the result of his disappearance could be as a result of the video he recently made. It will be recalled that Spade Darlington had made a video alleging that Burna Boy and Diddy had something going. Meanwhile, Burna Boy reacted to the news, questioning who went missing. Congratulatory messages are pouring in for the Nollywood actress Shotayo Ogaga as she welcomes her first child. The actress, who got married to a Northerner in 2021 via her Instagram page, shared a video of her and her protruding baby bump as she captioned it with "mood." According to some reports online, the Yoruba actress has welcomed her first child. A photo of the movie star with her bundle of joy is fast making rounds online. As expected, many of her colleagues took to her comment section to rejoice with her. Media personality Daddy Freeze seems to be stirring troubles as he congratulates music star Davido for outdoing his rival Wizkid. The media personality via his Instagram page shared a screenshot of a list of the richest African artists. From the list, Davido came out on top as the richest with a net worth of $100 million. Don Jazzy took second place with $50 million net worth. The third was Burna Boy with a net worth of $30 million. Surprisingly, Wizkid came fourth with a net worth of $25 billion and Rema came fifth with a net worth of $15 million. According to the list, the 2024 Grammy nominee is 4 times richer than his rival Wizkid and also another of his rivals, Burna Boy. Impressed by the list, Daddy Freeze congratulated Davido for beating his rivals. As expected, Daddy Freeze post drew a lot of reactions.
And that'll be all on entertainment news. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Rose Blossom Moye. Bye for now.
And that's all we have on Galaxy Primetime News. Thank you so much for being a part of the news.